Welcome back to Montreal. We're here at the moment in a wonderful exotic location, in a place where it can be minus 16 or minus 30 below. This is certainly humid, hot, warm and delicious. It's a tropical environment called the Biodome here in Montreal. Charles Matthew Brunel, how are you?
Fine, you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. And it's so nice to be in the Biodome because it's warm, firstly, which is important here in Montreal. It's exciting and there are animals walking around. What is this thing that's just walked past me?
He has an interesting beak in the form of a bit of a Coca-Cola bottle. The idea is to allow the public to have a direct relationship with nature. You know, often we walk in the woods and we look at it a bit like if it was television. But when you encounter different species, then you sort of start having a feel for them. That's the whole point about this biodome and the different ecosystems that we have here.
If this bird was a comedian, it'd be Dame Edna Everage, wouldn't it, really? There are guys all around here who talk to the punters who come in and fill them in on what it is. Tell us about this bird here. What's it called?
It's a roseate spoonbill.
It's fascinating, isn't it? I've never quite seen anything so bizarre.
Yeah, it's a very weird bill. Actually, they use it to find maybe little fish, crustaceans, or insects in the mud, in the water.
Yeah. And the great thing about the biodome is that you're not looking at nature, you're part of it. I mean, these birds are coming ever so close.
They're actually coming so close that you can talk to them. You can't touch them, but you can actually almost learn their language, you know.
And what is the reaction of the children who come in here? I noticed some kids just down there looking at this bird, completely fascinated. You don't see many of those in your garden, do you?
No, not that bird actually, because it's from South America, but they don't get that close.
So where are we going now? We're walking on through the biodome.
You're walking like through the biodome here. We're going to enter another ecosystem. We have 4 ecosystems, and this one we're going to go through, is the bats. We have a special cave with bats, and this is very spectacular, of course. You can see it's very dark. It's very lit with a special blue light that allows you to see the bats swirl all around you. This is a very rare opportunity to see them in their natural environment and see them also basically hunting, you know. And there's quite a few, right? There's a lot of them.
How do you keep it so that the areas don't mix? Because you don't want a tropical environment for the bats, do you?
What we have is a very humidity and very temperature cold environment, and there's a very definite difference in blockage between each ecosystems. It's very actually, if you were to visit next time the back door of the biodome and the whole system that we're actually in the process of changing our energy system to active passive geothermics, and it's very spectacular the way that we control the environment, which is. I'm going to show you a little bit of wildlife here before we go into the St. Lawrence, which is the typical ecosystem of Canada and Quebec.
So as we look down, we're maybe 100 feet away from 2 crocodiles. What are their proper names?
Caïmans. They're very dangerous animals, but actually they don't move a lot during the day. They move a lot more at night. And we have special visits during nighttime. And we also have special visits during, like you can sleep here. There's a contest. We have 50 or 100 people sleep here once or twice a year. It's a special event.
And now as we look to the right, the most incredible bird, which are luminous orange.
Yeah, ibises. They're very spectacular. It's sort of pink and orange, and a very long beak. They come from South America. They live in marsh. They're very curious birds, and their beaks a little bit like in an angle, you know. So they're very popular here.
Do these birds fly?
Yes,
they do. It's so interesting how all these different birds and animals live together. You wouldn't think it was possible, really.
We're not. You know, we have the impression that living in nature is something very aggressive. You know, it's something violent,
yeah.
But it's not. People don't. The animals don't just kill each other all day. They can live peacefully. Whoa, this is a change in temperature here.
Now we're getting cold.
Yeah, this is the St. Lawrence ecosystem, which is it's the temperature. This is actually the ecosystem that you see outside in Quebec. Yeah.
And then I'm just looking through the undergrowth here, and there's an animal chewing on a tree. What is that then?
That's a beaver. And we're very lucky because beavers are more active during the night also. and he's chewing. What they do is they cut small trees, and actually they'll munch on big trees, but they won't carry the big trees. They'll carry the small trees essentially to build their nests.
What a privilege that is! How beautiful!
And it's yes, we are privileged because it's very. We have a perfect view. He's very close, and he's very active. They're a workforce. They never stop working.
Probably the size of a medium-sized dog, and so beautifully camouflaged, especially with the autumnal trees around it with the leaves falling. You really do have to look quite closely to spot that.
You have to take your time walking through these ecosystems too. You actually have to take your time to live the experience and also to have a chance things to appear to you, because you have to be waiting for things to move.
And the animals seem totally unaffected by us being here, not bothered at all.
No, well, the whole ecosystems were calibrated so that they're in their natural environment and they have the space to actually feel good and to reproduce also.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll keep walking through this part, which is quite refreshing after the tropical bit.
You're very lucky.
Go ahead. Why are we so lucky then?
Well, you're seeing les loutres, which is otters is the English name. They are very active at night. They're a cross between, a seal and a very large dog.
And what a great privilege. We could literally, if we touch the glass, touch the otter, and there's another one there as well, so we're even more lucky.
They're actually, this family, they're very popular. The population of Montreal is very attracted and very attached to them because they sleep in that. We can actually see their nest, and they cuddle up together. So you actually.
And he's looking at me now, almost eye to eye, eyeballing each other. He's so curious and now showing off.
Yeah, showing off like a seal would do. Playing with. Actually, you almost throw him a tennis ball, he'll play with it.
How frustrating that I left my bag up in your office and I didn't bring my camera, because that's a real treat, isn't it?
It is. It's fabulous.
I think we might have to go back up and get that. And again, just less than 50 feet away from the beaver are two beautiful looking ducks, completely unaffected, minding their own business, not interested.
No, they're very peaceful. They're actually probably tired of seeing him work like that. They're probably wondering why he's so active. You can just sit here. Look at that. Carrying a piece of wood back to his house. So what you were seeing a few feet before us was the beaver carrying towards his house. Now we are under the lake and we can actually see the beaver swimming. This is
just gliding, isn't it?
Just gliding, yeah.
How beautiful is that?
So it gives you sort of another perspective, right? You're seeing the beaver from underwater, and 2 minutes ago you saw him from atop.
That really is incredible.
You can see that he has palm feet. It's very textured. It's very soft, and his little front paws are like a baby's hands, like folded in front of him, and he just lets himself glide.
And tell me, how do you keep the water so clean? I mean, this looks good enough to drink.
There's a whole ecosystem. There's fishes that actually keep the water clean, and there's some that it's a whole natural system that's here.
Absolutely beautiful. And then we're back in the outdoors area again. And then just walking past this bit here, there's some perspex so you can see into the water.
There's a giant lobster that was given to us, a giant blue lobster. He's very popular. He was actually given to a woman in the States after the Super Bowl. And that woman actually called us and donated it to us. We have to find him now.
Yeah, let's see if we can see him. So we're looking for, what color is the lobster?
Blue, which is very rare. There it is.
Oh, good Lord.
It's a giant lobster.
Now, when you said giant, I thought you were talking, maybe 2 or 3 inches, maybe 4 or 5 inches. His claws alone are probably 10 or 15 inches long.
No, this lobster is probably the biggest one that you will ever see. It's about 20 pounds.
Don't let any of those top chefs in Montreal get near here. They'd love that. What a terrific thing that is. And so many things to look at. You could literally just spend an hour looking around the little pool there where the lobster's living. And
now you have birds flying by over your head. Yeah, this space is very special because they really fly all over you. Wild ducks, wild birds, and
as long as they're just flying all over us, that's the main thing. All right, and we're now going through the other side, past the lobsters, into another part of the building.
We're going to the Arctic section.
Gorgeous penguins. How amazing is that?
These are smaller ones with curved beaks. They come from an island north of Canada, and this is what we call the Arctic zone. I don't know if we have this. What is the movie? I forget the name of the movie with the penguins. What was that movie's name?
The March of the Penguins.
Yeah, the March of the Penguins. This is extremely popular, where you have people that can sit, and at the same time you can see them on the rocks.
What is fascinating as well, they're so funny and clumsy and awkward on land, yet they're as good as any fish underwater, aren't they?
They are very, very quick under the water. They are very, very powerful underwater.
And this is all behind glass here, and I noticed snow on the mountains which you've put behind the glass, so it is almost like a completely natural environment for them.
It is totally environment. Eventually we're going to rework this environment in the next few years. You know, as we learn more and more on these species, we have to recreate and work on the environment to make it even more comfortable for them. They're almost human-like on their two legs. Now we're hearing the sound. The most popular moment in the day is when they come out and they feed them with fish. That is like, and they all stand in line very calmly, and they each wait their turn. They don't push each other. They're very respectful.
Fantastic. Yeah. And now we're coming into a section called Madagascar.
Yeah, Madagascar is an island, as you know, south of Africa, and they are. What we have is a temporary exhibit here. And we have to show you this.
Okay, let's go inside. It says close. Does that mean that we can't go in?
I have to get you in there.
Oh, so an exclusive rare view here.
Yeah. Well, you actually see the Lemurians. They're looking at you. They have these bright orange eyes. There's 3 of them. This is very, very popular. It's a temporary exhibit because through the door, when you go in there, there's nothing that separates you from the animals. In this environment, there's absolutely nothing. You could actually walk there and touch them, but you can't. But it allows them to have very close interactive with you.
And of course, these were made very popular by the film Madagascar, the cartoon.
Yeah.
Beautiful animals, amazingly long tails, and as you say, just the most beautiful, cute faces, pointy noses, and bulgy eyes. It's a bit like myself, really.
This is very popular in Montreal. This exhibit has attracted thousands of people.
Well, thank you so much for showing us around today. It's been just fantastic to walk around the Biodome. And thank you so much to Charles Matthew Brunel, the director of Montreal Natural Museums, and of course the Biodome here, which is a splendid evening, day, morning or overnight out to sleep with the animals. I even can do that. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for coming here.